It's a sad day in America. There's a 31-year-old man who's got a young wife and a couple of kids is just dead because of his beliefs. It's a sad day in America. Charlie Kirk, a man I'm lucky enough to be able to call friend, is dead. He was speaking at a college campus, Utah Valley something or other, and somebody shot him in the neck. And he's dead. 31 years old. I don't care what political side you're on. Doesn't matter to me. Didn't matter to him either, to be honest. It doesn't matter. This is tragic by any sense of the word. Late word just got from Raw's Alerts or somebody that his wife and both kids were there at this event today. Met Charlie over the phone probably, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Had him on the show, on video. We knew each other, had each other's phone number. We texted often. Both of us in the Salem Podcast Network for podcasting, not for my radio show, but for podcasting. He invited and rolled out the red carpet for us in Dallas not long ago, Grapevine, Texas. His staff was any need we had. They were there for us. He was very busy, so I didn't sit down and talk to him there. But I texted him while there. Thank you so much. Like to sit down and do something with you soon. He said, I would love that. I remember last November when the election happened and President Trump was elected, I texted him. He was jubilant. Charlie, congratulations. You had a lot to do with this, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. This means so much. Nice guy. Charlie and I were kindred spirits because we both played woodwinds in high school. He was a bass clarinet player. I was a band dork, but that's really band dorky to be a bass clarinet player. And we laughed about it. The guy was the initiator of a movement for young people to realize that there are two sides of the aisle, that college isn't necessarily telling you the truth. He was a guy who made a decision to start something, TPUSA, Turning Point USA, a juggernaut organization now that just educated young people. Had a book called, what do you call it? College is a Scam? I think it's what he called it. And then he went to college campuses and took all comers. You want to argue about stuff? Let's argue. You want to agree with me? Let's agree. You want me to sign a hat for you? Boom, here's a hat. Just a really good guy. People would often say, you don't know that Charlie Kirk? Yes, I know Charlie Kirk, and I'm proud to know Charlie Kirk. Because what was said about him wasn't who the guy was. Had people just 2 days ago, Brian Stetler over on CNN, when asked about this Charlotte murder, the young lady that was killed by a deranged, knife-wielding piece of garbage. And when Stetler was asked about that, he said that the MAGA influencers like Charlie Kirk, he said his name, are the ones that are stoking racial issues over this. When clearly there's a racial issue because the guy says, I got that white girl. Charlie was sitting there today holding court like he normally does and was shot in the neck. I'm not going to show the video, but it's out there. Then there were varying reports. Critical condition. He's been stabilized, a couple of people reported. And then it was reported that he died. And in fact, sadly and disturbingly, those reports were correct. He only got 31 years. His impact will go for centuries. But what does that say about us as a people? I get it. One bad person did it. And Sam, last time I checked, the shooter is on the loose. They said they had somebody. Now they're saying that the search is on.
That's correct.
So they don't have anybody. We don't know who did this.
They don't.
Guy goes to a college campus. Now, I want to set the stage for those who are listening on the radio to give you sort of theater of the mind is what we call it in radio. I want you to imagine Charlie is sitting there. He's under a tent. They always had some sort of a tent set up. He would have memorabilia. He would have shirts. He would have hats. He had security at all times. And he's sitting there, and in front of him, I don't want to overestimate, but I'd say at least 1,000 or 2, maybe more people than that are in front of him. He's at Utah Valley. Now, mostly when Charlie did these get-togethers, he would do it where he's sitting in a chair at a table under a tent. He's got security around him, but he's answering questions. People come up to a microphone. They say, bop, bop, bop. He says, bop, bop, bop back. Generally speaking, people agree who were in the crowd, but some people didn't agree. But they were all on the same level. I want you to really put yourself in this mindset. You're sitting under a pavilion and he's on the same level. Let's say it's a floor, it's a grass ground or something like that. The whole crowd is on the same level. So even if somebody wanted to cause harm, they would have to shoot through several people to get to him. This one, unfortunately, was where you almost had a bleacher-like look. So Charlie was down at the bottom, and then the people who were watching were up in tiers of seats and bleachers and steps. I've got J.B. Weiss on. He's the former superintendent of the Chicago Police. We didn't know yet that Charlie had passed away when I did the interview. That'll be an interview later in the show. But he said that reports were that the shot came from 200 yards away, which is not a huge distance for somebody who's skilled with a rifle, but it would have been a clear shot because of how it was positioned today. If you follow what I'm saying, he's down at the bottom of it, nobody in the way between somebody who wants to do harm and him. It's a sad day in America. I don't care what your politics are. That doesn't matter to me right now. There is a civil war happening in this country. The Civil War is being fought in two different ways. The left is fighting the Civil War with violence. The right is fighting the Civil War with words. And we can't let this violence stop our words. I don't want any sort of uprising in the streets. I don't want anybody to say, are you left or right? Then I get to do something bad to you if you are left or you're right. What I want is for people to understand it's still the greatest nation on the planet. And that we can coexist with people who disagree with each other. We can coexist with people who realize that we only have the ability to say what we say because of that Constitution protecting the rights that we have. Charlie Kirk should be alive and well today. This is sick on every level. I mourn for his wife and little kids. 31. I don't even think I felt like I was an adult yet at 31. There's no reason he should be gone. I didn't know what I would say when I came on today. But I'm angry, and I'm sad, and I fear for our country. What the F is going on? You can't have a guy say words? Not to mention we were all swatted this year. President Trump was shot last year. What is going on? Because the guy said things. And by the way, everything he said was true. He was a racist. No, he wasn't. He literally would tell black people in the crowd, I want better for you. And what he did, if they listened, provided better for everybody listening. This guy wasn't some far right-wing madman. He was a guy who just loved the country. He loved Jesus, so he's there with Jesus now. He loved his family, and he loved his country. That's it. And he died for it. This is wrong on every level. What is one to say when a 31-year-old man who says words has to die, according to somebody, to shut him up? Because now his legacy goes on for centuries. I won't let Charlie Kirk's legacy die, that's for sure. But you got to be kidding me. I was interviewing Dr. Ben Carson. Going to talk to him about all sorts of great stuff. We had him planned since yesterday or the day before. He didn't cancel on me. He still came on. As we were talking, we were talking about how we prayed that he was okay. Some reports said he was in critical condition, but stabilizing. And at that point, Sam was the bearer of bad news. Told me during the interview that Fox News and Newsmax and Just the News, John Solomon's site, which are all very, very, very good verifiable news outlets and sources, said he died. And I told Dr. Carson that. And his immediate reaction literally makes me say, should we stop? Because Dr. Ben Carson has been sitting next to Charlie Kirk as he does these things. So is our friend Brandon Tatum. So is Candace Owen. So is our friend Riley Gaines. People, I promise you, and I don't think I ever told Sam this or my family or anybody else, I was going to see if Charlie wanted me to go to one of them. What the hell? But I honestly didn't think I'd be as calm as he is or he was at these things. So I didn't think that I had the makeup to make it interesting. I probably would have told somebody the F word or something. But not very long ago, we texted. And every time he was like, yeah, man, I'd like to have that happen. Yes, that'd be great. I'd love that. Just a nice guy. I know you think you know who he is. You know, a family member once said, oh, you like Charlie Kirk? I said, he's a friend of mine. This is a long time ago. This is not now. He just gave me a look like I was an idiot. No, you're the idiot. You don't know what he's talking about. You don't know what he's getting at. Everything he said, although it made him very successful, it wasn't for that. He didn't do it for that. He did it because he believed in a better country. He believed in an America that the Founding Fathers envisioned. He believed that that could happen once people wake up and realize they're being controlled and indoctrinated from some other side. I mean, it is a scary day in America because now people will have to make a decision. Either you go out there and say what you believe, you go out there and run for office because it's available and because you think you can do better, or you hide under a rock. They want us to hide under a rock. That's not happening. Now, I've gotten 59 years so far. If I died tomorrow, I had a pretty good life. Charlie Kirk got 31? You must be high. The guy's just starting out. He probably would have been the president one day.